Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop. Stand still, that's the motto, yeah. Brand new bands for the auto, oh. Foot to the ground, full throttle. Big energy for the night like lotto. Y'all talk lots, never this quiet. Life like a Seinfeld plot. Vault full of songs, all of them bombs. Something like a minefield guy, boom. Get it, tickets running out quick. Bet it, never get it out big. Said it, never had to shout it. They said I couldn't never do it, okay, how's this? Fit a week worth of work in a minute. Machine well oiled, you know how I stay efficient. To-do list written, I do this different. Hold up, wait a minute, I ain't finished. Okay. Look, flows the same now. Paved the way, the snakes and fakes are chased out. Back to back to back, I changed the pace now. Had to stack the cash until the bank's out. Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for attending our session on the future of work powered by Copilot. Thank you for attending. My name is John Zari. I'm a CEO with Point Alliance. We are IT consulting specialized in Microsoft 365 with many designations in this area. So for today's session, we will be recording this session. Will be shared with you, and also the PowerPoint, we will share that in the follow-up email with you within the next 24 hours. That's it. Our agenda for today, talk about Microsoft AI overview, Copilot chat versus Copilot, and then we're going to get into a bit more detail about chat and Copilot and leveraging Microsoft Copilot features. With these sessions, and also there are a mix of slides and useful videos. If you have any question, please feel free to just post it in the chat. I'll be happy to answer it. If we are not able to answer your question, we will follow up with you to make sure your questions are answered. So AI in 2025. So again, we hear about AI all the time, and so we cannot. It's not a subject we can avoid, no matter what the subject is. So as of 2025, this year, the total number of the companies globally is about 7,000 companies that are involved with the AI, and depending on what they do or those things, they provide those services and offering and built into it. But the major players here that we talk about mostly these days is, of course, Microsoft. You got Apple, you got Amazon, Google, Meta, NVIDIA, and Tesla are the main leaders in this area. And again, our focus today is on a Microsoft 365 Copilot, and what will we choose when there is a 7,000 vendors and so on, and those things. So what is important and why Microsoft 365? So seamless integration across apps, that's very important. You know, that once you have the licenses, it shows up in your Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and that number of applications are increasing in a rapid pace. Personalized and secure access, it is very important. Proven productivity outcome, we are all familiar with the Microsoft products, so it just make it the return on investment is important, improve the satisfaction. So there's nothing that make the training also more intuitive. Modern unified AI experience, enterprise security and customization. We're going to talk about security a lot, but that's important. Once you bring the Copilot into the mix, it is wrapped by the existing Microsoft 365 security. So you don't, again, you need to kind of make sure, do the assessment, make sure your environment is secure, your SharePoint sites are secure as you're expecting. But that said, the overall security wraps around that. So just make it much easier transition to bring the AI into your environment. Ongoing innovation and support, of course, Microsoft is putting lots of effort into this thing and improving the tool. I would say every month when the newsletters comes up with the new features and new upgrade and new fixes. So again, it is improving a rapid base. So talking about the Microsoft AI overview and with the Copilot, again, it's not just about technology. How does it increase the business value? How does it optimize the cost? How does it help employee to thrive? And based off the survey was done for the small, medium-sized organization, the projected return on investment over 3 years is 353%. One of the examples that we use, if the employee saved 20 minutes a day just using the Copilot and AI within a day, that adds up to be a 3 weeks in a 12 months period. So that's a massive saving. And that, again, 20 minutes, once people start using it, the number is going to be much higher than that. So again, 6% base of increase in net revenue depends on the type of organization you have. 20% reduction in operating cost due to process efficiencies and increased productivity. 61% increase in employee satisfaction due to relief of the redundant work and getting work faster and more accurate. And of course, with any good thing, you need to also worry about the other stuff. So top security and governance concern about the AI, generative AI, is that data oversharing and data leaks. 80% of the concern. Identify of the risky AI use, AI governance, and risk visibility. So with the Microsoft, with the existing security, and again, built on a comprehensive approach, security, compliance, privacy, and of course, responsible AI. So what Microsoft provides you with the Copilot, the secure the data addressed and in a transit, you control your data. So your data stays within your tenant, your organization. It's not used for learning. It's not going to be trying to be used for enriching the foundation models. You are protected against the AI security and copyright risk as well. So that's by itself. So again, it takes all those worries away. So how does it, what is the Microsoft 365 Copilot architecture? So this is a big picture. We're gonna focus on the middle part with the numbers. We have 1 to 5 there that we go to kind of explain those things. And again, perhaps you're already familiar with this term, but just want to make sure that again, lots of terms and acronyms being used and everybody is familiar with that. So how the processes start? User prompts are sent to Copilot, and prompts is what the request you do. Like you go to the box and you're gonna put a request. So that's known as prompt. And again, fortunately, all these terms are common between all AI tools, so it's not just for Microsoft. Once the prompt is sent, Copilot accesses the Microsoft Graph. Microsoft Graph is basically a gatekeeper to kind of say, okay, what do I have access to, and what can I get into all those things? So that's a gatekeeper there. Once that's done, Copilot send a modified prompt to the large language model, and we hear about that a lot, LLM. Copilot receive LLM response come back. And then number 5, Copilot access Microsoft Graph again for purview and compliance. Just because you have access is that it is in line with the company policies and security that you have in place and go. One example is that perhaps you're responding to an email, you have 5 recipients, and in that email, you're sharing some information. The result that Copilot will bring, that result will using the preview and compliance is making sure that all members of that email have access. So if there one member doesn't have access, the information is going to modify it to make sure there's no oversharing is happening and the user that was copied on that email doesn't get access to additional information. So again, as I mentioned, let's go through some of the terms that is used, and again, just a few slides to get make sure we're all in line with what this prompt means. So prompt is in Microsoft 365 is your instructional request, right? It is the starting point that tells the Copilot what you want. And again, when combined with the grounding, which is access in the web, and semantic index, which is very important, we're going to get that, it generates a useful and context-aware response. So next is grounding, right? As I explained one, it's more acronym pops up. Grounding Microsoft 365 Copilot means the AI pulls from real relevant context, either from your enterprise environment or via graph we talk about, or from the web to make the response more accurate, reliable, and meaningful. Next is a graph. Again, Microsoft Graph is a unified API and data model that connects all Microsoft services and map relationship between people, content, and activities, right? So that's a gatekeeper to all the content that you have access to. So semantic index is very important, right? It's an AI-powered organization brain that maps meaning across your data, enabling Copilot to understand context. and reduce the hallucination and deliver accurate business aware responses. So if two staff members go to the Copilot and put a prompt, identical prompt, the responses might be different because what they have access to and who they are, who they report to, what chat, what emails they have received, those things. And that's the power of the semantic index. Large language model, we all heard of that, LLM. We hear about that a lot. Microsoft is a powerful AI brain, like a GPT-5. And again, this is the same engine at ChatGPT, and Microsoft has been one of the major investors in the Access AI that is a builder of the ChatGPT, is using the same engine. And again, in some of the videos might still refer to the GPT-4, but as of a few months ago, it has been upgraded GPT-5 and has been a major improvement. So again, interprets your prompts, reason through the Microsoft data, generate the context-aware response across Word, Excel, Outlook, Teams, and more. And of course, GPT. Okay, we hear that stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. It's type of large language model that can understand and generate human-like text. Again, I'm not going to go to every line of this slide. As I mentioned, we will share the slide with you. And the response. This way, you provide the intent prompt, Copilot use your data grounding, and AI engine LLM reason out, and you get a business-ready response back to you.
When you submit a prompt, Microsoft Copilot for Microsoft 365 brings in your universe of data via Microsoft Graph. It uses the semantic index for Copilot to correlate activity signals, retrieving indexed information that is uniquely relevant to you. It then presents the combination of your prompt with what was retrieved to the large language model to generate an informed response. Importantly, semantic index for Copilot works on two levels. By default, it indexes information within SharePoint inside your organization's tenant. Second, each user also has their own separate index for email and their individual important documents, like files shared with them, where they've commented, or were @mentioned, and more. This two-pronged approach is what increases relevancy, allowing Copilot for Microsoft 365 to orchestrate AI-generated results that are unique to you as a user based on your explicit access to information.
All right, that was a good video to explain about the semantic index and how from the prompt to the response. So Microsoft 365 Copilot is coming in two flavors. One is a chat, one is Microsoft 365 Copilot, and we're going to talk about that. So the Copilot chat is the same with, we say, same as ChatGPT. But what the important it is that, first of all, is available to anyone with the Microsoft licenses at no additional cost, and also you have the fact of the IT control around it and enterprise data protection. That's massive, right? Because if you're using any public AI like a ChatGPT or Gemini, or there are many of them, as we mentioned, there's no shortage of those things. Your data, once it's inputted, you have no control over it, right? So they can do what they want with their data, they can use it for training, and you can also be sharing confidential information. So the great thing about the chat is that it is within your environment, it does not leak, it's not used for training, and is available at no charge.
Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI companion that helps inform and inspire you with helpful advice, feedback, and answers. There are a few versions of Copilot for you to consider. Let's take a look at Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat and Microsoft 365 Copilot. Copilot Chat is available to businesses that have a Microsoft 365 subscription at no additional cost. With it, you can access features like text generation, image generation, and basic data analysis. Because it's grounded in the web, it can reason over the entire internet and quickly pull in relevant information. For example, you can get help with tasks like drafting emails or getting summaries of documents that you upload. Next is Microsoft 365 Copilot, the paid version of Copilot, which gives you all of the functionality of Copilot Chat, plus the ability to access business emails, create Teams meeting summaries, summarize information in Word or Excel, create draft PowerPoint presentations, find information in OneDrive and SharePoint, and more. Finally, Copilot agents are available in both Microsoft 365 Copilot and Copilot Chat. These AI-driven agents can be created and used to connect to your organization's data to automate and execute business processes. With them, you can troubleshoot with customers in real time, or let it handle repetitive tasks like answering commonly asked HR questions. There are agents that are free and agents that are billed based on usage. Now that you know the differences, go ahead and start using Copilot to boost your productivity and streamline your tasks.
So as I mentioned, and as you saw in the video, Copilot Chat, free secure AI chat, which we highly recommend that you take advantage of in your organization. And that will also eliminate the shadow users, right? Because if they don't, employees these days, based off the survey is done, if they don't have the access to AI, will use their own personal AI, and you're putting your organization data at risk. So it's always best to kind of introduce the chat. And again, it's at no cost. Once you add a Copilot license to it, that feature of the Copilot will surface in your productivity apps like a Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and so on. So as we were watching a video, it was a mention of the agent, and let's tell you what the agents are. So the agent in Microsoft 365 is a custom-built AI assistant. It built with a Copilot Studio that goes beyond general Copilot functionality and is focused on more specific role. And the agents are improving really on a rapid base too. And I can see every month I can see new features and new functionalities that provided. So you can build the agents, and you also can share the agent with your staff. If the people that are accessing the agents have the Microsoft Copilot license, the full version, they can use it at no charge. For people that only have access to the chat, it will be per usage, and it's like a pennies per connector or so on. There's a calculator you can use. Copilot Studio is a toolkit for customizing extending the Copilot, right? So that's how you build your agents within that. So just give you a quick chart of those things. So chat, you can see on the top, it is part of course, the chat and the paid version that you're using. Agents, you have access to create, discover, and use agent on the web data available in both edition. But use agent run in the work data, that's you can see those triangles. So it's per consumption for the basic free license. Personal assistant only available in the paid version. And the Copilot controls, you do have controls available in both models. But again, to have access to the SharePoint Advanced Management Analytic and the pre-built reports and Advanced Analytic, it is only available with the paid version. So again, you still get a lot with the Copilot chat. So to dig in a bit more in the Copilot chat, we kind of repeating this a few times. So you got a chat, you can on the browser, you can get it on your mobile phone, access to agent and IT controls. Yeah, right. So enterprise data protection and management, it is very important. So your users can, with the peace of mind and the confidence, put information, upload the document and so on. And you're going to see in this example shortly, without worrying about the data leak or the data be used for the learning models.
Copilot Chat gives you free and secure enterprise-ready AI chat powered by GPT-4o in a familiar and consistent interface. Say you work in business planning for an EV charging company and you're developing the strategy for the year. You start by asking Copilot to do some research on the web. You want some basic information, like how EV charging has grown by region. Copilot is grounded in the web, so it can reason over the entire internet and quickly pull the relevant information. Great! Now let's see how these national trends compare to your sales results. With Copilot Chat, you can easily and securely upload files, like your sales data, and have it visualize your regional sales for the past few quarters. And you can continue to iterate with Copilot, like asking it to recommend strategies to help increase sales in lower performing regions. With Copilot Chat, you can quickly gather insights from the web and securely upload and analyze your data, bringing the power of AI directly to your workflow.
All right, so next we're gonna go into the Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is the full version. So between the Copilot, large language model, Microsoft Graph, which is your data, Microsoft 365 apps, which is the productivity apps, plus the internet. And also, of course, you have access to the chat because we were using that still, and in a mobile and the web browser, and the Copilot Studio plus agent, and adoption and measurement. This is very important because what's happening, investing into the Copilot is a large investment, and you want to look at these reports and see how is the adoption rate going. Do the user need extra training and so on? And that's very important to make sure the user are making the best out of the tool made available to them, and your investment is done. You have the investment you have done. It is for the right people and taking advantage of the full version, because you could have a mix of environment that people using the chat and Copilot. Not everybody has to have one or other, so you could have a mix of environment. So we had this one in earlier slides as well. Consistent UI for AI, integrated tool million that we use already, so you don't have to teach them anything. It's already built into Excel. They're familiar with it. It's going to show on the ribbon bar and so on. Platform for agents and extensibility, and again, that's increasing daily. That you can even access the outside's platform and so on for your Copilot and agents. Security, flexible processing and deployment option, as I mentioned. You could start with a pilot program that you buy the Microsoft Copilot licenses. Once the pilot is done, then you can see, okay, who else would take advantage of this tool? And then you can measure it for the business value. When the Copilot was released, first was mostly Outlook, Word, PowerPoint, Teams, and Excel, but this list is increasing, and right now there's a dozen of apps that have the Copilot functionality built into it natively. So when we start with the Copilot, this is what we see that's top 10 that people try to do. Recap the meeting definitely is number one. Imagine you have a meeting. All you have to do is either record the meeting or turn on the transcription. After the meeting, you will receive a recap of what was discussed, any task was assigned to anyone, and with the name of the participant and so on. So it gives you a great summary to be able to share. And of course, with anything AI generated, you need to review the information, but this is a big time saver. Instead of spending hours to do write-up and meeting notes and so on, you can get a good head start with a recap meeting. Summarize the email thread. You go on vacation, you're away for attending a conference on, you come back, your inbox is full of the mail. So you can summarize the email and kind of get a gist of it, what was it, and also kind of get highlighted what's more important and so on, so you can act on it right away. Draft the email. You create an email, you want to kind of personalize it a bit, and you can use it with a tone. You want to be more formal, you want to be more casual and so on. So it is a great tool to kind of create a more clear email message. Summarize the document. Imagine you receive maybe RFP or a document is hundreds of pages. You can have a Copilot to summarize that for you. Or maybe you're looking for certain points in there. I was checking a pet insurance and the document was 150 pages long. So I said, what do I need to be worried about it? In a matter of seconds, it came back and gave me top 5 things about that document that I should be concerned if I'm going to go with that pet insurance, for example. Tell me about a topic or projects you can search for. Give me some ideas. Help me write. Again, sometimes we get a writer's block and we can help you in a Word. You can do that. What did it say? You can put like with the add mention. It will go search within your chats, your emails and so on, get that information about the person. How do I? We use Excel, and sometimes we're looking for to kind of create a complex script or a formula that if you're not power user, so now you can have Copilot to help you to do that. Translate a message. If you receive a message, you are working for an international company, the message come in the language is not your native language, you can have it translated on a matter of second. It is phenomenal. And the other thing is that also the live translation is now available in Microsoft Teams meetings. So as a person talk, you're not looking at it and the subtitle, they're actually hearing the person talking your native language live. And that's phenomenal. It's amazing. And of course, you can find the hundreds of the different type of prompts available at the aka.ms prompts, and you will have this link available in the PowerPoint we will share with you shortly. So when you're working with the AI, and in this case with the Copilot, what is important? So when you're prompting, be clear and specific, right? It's very important. Keep it conversational. So let's imagine you're having a chat with a friend. And I know it seems weird that we are making a friend with the AI, but that's very important. You want to be very clear and provide examples, right? So the better information, better instruction, you provide better examples, information will be great. When the result come back, ask for feedback. You can reason when the prompts, your response come back. You can ask questions on. Write legibly. So you want to avoid kind of short terms, like what you do in text messages, a proper writing. Check for accuracy. That's very important with anything AI generated to make sure. And again, with the Copilot, when you prompt for information, result come back, it will give you all the notes and all the references where the information came from. So you can validate that. And you're going to have the numbers, like a footnote, it's like a 1 to whatever number it is. And then also you can say, okay, don't use this reference, use something else. So you can give additional information, provide detail, and of course, be polite. So on the opposite side, if you want to have the information come back to be useful to you, don't be vague. Don't request inappropriate or unethical content. Use a slang, jargons, or informal language. Give conflicting instruction. Interrupt the change the topic abruptly. So when you're in the conversation and you're chatting there in the prompt, if you want to change the conversation, open a new chat and so you don't want to get that confused. And also, if you made a request, let the response come back before you put additional information. So that's very important. So leveraging Microsoft 365 Copilot features, we're going to touch on. We have 5 great videos here on Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Teams. So again, when you look at this thing, this is amazing. This is what's available today, and you can take advantage of it. Some of them might seem overwhelming and say, oh, how do I do this thing? But important thing is that these features and functionality are available to you today, so you can use it. Again, you can start small and gradually get a more and more complex task, but you will see that how these examples are great and also time saving it is. So let's start with the Microsoft Word.
With Copilot in Word, you have an invaluable partner working at your side, helping you become a better writer. You will now be able to seamlessly integrate work data directly into your document. Let's use an example where you need to respond to an RFP. To get started, you ask Copilot to reference the latest product specs and mirror the approved format previously used. You had a great meeting on the customer's needs, so you ask Copilot to pull in details from the meeting and chat. Copilot gets to work, creating a plan to craft the document. Within seconds, Copilot executes its plan, automatically attaches a security label to match the source material, and creates your first draft, a task that otherwise may have taken you or someone in your team hours to complete. Now it's time to iterate on Copilot's work. It looks like it didn't include updated pricing for this customer. Let's ask it to reference an email and pull in the discount. The proposal could also use a little more information about your key value propositions, including your certifications and standards. This will look best as a table in your document. Let's add why these certificates are important for retailers. There you go. Now, with the help of Copilot in Word, you have a polished RFP response in the fraction of the time it would have taken for you to do on your own. And you're ready to review and share the document with your team and the customer.
All right, you can see that example, how quickly you can draft this document. And really, as this video was just a normal speed that you can do those things. And the fact that within the documents, you can refer to other information. You can see as you prompting / you don't even have to go find the file name. If you know the file name or email and so on, so you can make a reference to any of the content that you have access to.
Copilot in Excel makes anyone a data analyst. Say you want to understand annual revenue trends, how each product is selling, which categories are performing best, and what's driving sales. To do that, you need to bring together data on product sales, pricing, and customer feedback. First, you import your data sources. Now you have a workbook with all the raw data you need in one place, and you can use Copilot to shape and analyze the numbers. Let's start by figuring out which category of your business is driving the most revenue. You know how to calculate that, but this sheet has 3 years of sales data, with thousands of rows showing sales by product by month. So while it's a routine task, this much data can be unwieldy. You can ask Copilot to quickly calculate monthly revenue by product. It knows how to do that, and which data to reference across tabs. Copilot creates a plan for how it will run those numbers, executes that plan, showing its work as it goes, and prompts you to ask questions or iterate on the solution it reached. It looks great, so you're ready to add that column to your spreadsheet. Now a new ask has come in, and you need to understand how each product category is performing and ensure that you are selling at least 100K in product in each category per month. Let's start by comparing sales by category. You ask Copilot to create a simple bar chart so you can quickly see which product categories are selling the best. And with conditional formatting, it highlights the product lines that aren't meeting the $100,000 minimum threshold, so you know where to focus. Now that we know which products aren't selling well, let's dig a little deeper and see what we can learn from the customer feedback. Copilot in Excel can now reason over text, like this raw customer data. Copilot analyzes all the customer feedback from the past quarter and surfaces the top 3 concerns. It looks like charging speed might be an emerging issue. Let's ask Copilot to highlight customer reviews that mention charging speed. Now, with the help of Copilot, you've taken a complex, disparate data set and quickly analyzed it, giving you a full picture of your revenue trends that you can bring to the upcoming business review.
Yeah, this was very powerful. Again, lots of elements here, and to kind of look into it. But imagine all this work. How long will it take if you do it manually?
Copilot in PowerPoint is your creative partner as you iterate and co-create to develop your presentation. Let's say you're a sales lead getting ready to pitch a new retail customer. You ask Copilot to create a compelling pitch deck in your company template that shows how your product will attract shoppers and keep them in the store longer. Now, with Copilot in PowerPoint's new narrative builder, you are in creative control. It starts with a draft outline, where you can reorder the flow, delete topics you don't want, or add new ones, and ensure you've got a solid outline before creating a presentation. Let's add a section on our key value props tailored to customer insights. And another section with customer testimonials. Within seconds, you have a content outline, and you're ready to start on your presentation. Copilot makes a plan for creating the slides and executes it, crafting the titles and draft copy, pulling in images from your corporate library, and applying your company's PowerPoint template so the presentation is on brand. Now you're ready to iterate with Copilot as your partner. It looks like this slide could use an image. You tell Copilot what you're looking for, and within seconds, it provides several options from your company's approved image library. Copilot can also provide AI-generated images using Designer and DALL-E 3. Now that you've selected a photo, PowerPoint gives you several slide design options aligned to your company brand guidelines to choose from. You can keep iterating, but let's see what Copilot has helped you build so far. It added speaker notes to every slide, built slide transitions, and added animations, giving you a professional-looking presentation that's on brand. With Copilot as your design, writing, and editing partner, you can focus on nailing your pitch.
Right, next, we move into the Outlook.
Managing your inbox can feel like a full-time job. But now, Copilot in Outlook can help you prioritize what's in your inbox. It analyzes all your emails using both the content of your messages and the context of your job, like who your manager is and who's on your team, to highlight what's most important. You can then sort by priority based on Copilot's analysis. Let's take a look at this email from a new customer, Tailwind Traders. When you select it, Copilot shows you why it thinks it's significant and highlights what action you need to take. This is a key customer for the next few months, so you teach Copilot that all emails mentioning them are a top priority. Now Copilot knows to prioritize any email from Tailwind Traders. Copilot is your partner, helping you manage your inbox so you don't miss what's most important. Now let's switch to Outlook Mobile. You have to run to a meeting, but you don't want to leave the customer hanging, so you need to draft a response on the go. We're making it even easier to be productive on your phone with Copilot in Outlook. Copilot analyzes the email and offers some suggested responses. Now all you have to do is pick one as your starting point and instruct Copilot on what else to add. Copilot generates the solid draft, and it's ready for editing. Because this is going to a customer, you want to make it more formal, so you ask Copilot to adjust the tone. You can easily flip through the options and select which version you like the best. The second paragraph could also use an update. You can edit it yourself or ask Copilot to help. Let's highlight the relevant section and tell Copilot what you want to include. Once you're happy with the edits, you can accept the changes and your email is ready to send.
Right. Our last demo is Copilot in Teams meetings, which is was number
Copilot
one.
in Teams can now reason over both the meeting transcript and the meeting chat to give you a complete picture of what was discussed. You meet as a team to discuss the customer's RFP. As the meeting wraps, you think you might have missed some questions in the chat. Often the best ideas and the most thoughtful questions happen in the chat. Now, Copilot in Teams captures this valuable, higher bandwidth conversation. Let's open up Intelligent Recap and ask Copilot if you missed any questions. It quickly scans what was said and what was in the chat, looks for questions, and checks if any were left unanswered. Now you have a list of any open questions without having to scroll back through the chat. With the help of Copilot in Teams, you can quickly and easily stay on the same page with your team.
All right. Well, this is conclude our video. So what are the next step and additional resources? So again, to get ready for Copilot, we recommend you kind of sign up for the Microsoft 365 Core Readiness Assessment that we provide. This will go in look into all the security aspect of your Microsoft tenant, look in your SharePoint site, provide you a very nice Power BI dashboard that will tell you exactly that the information required to make sure your organization is secured. Again, there's lots of resources provided Microsoft do, how AI is poised for create a new way of the working. We all have links, leverage, they can get started, and resources of adoption, dive into security, privacy, and so on. So again, additionally, we have some executive click-through that you can check, that all the links are available here. You're going to share that with your team. And last, if hopefully you find this session beneficial and informative, we'll be looking forward to speaking with you shortly. If you require more information and you want to kind of conduct the security assessment and Copilot readiness, hopefully you enjoyed this session as mentioned, and we would love to kind of get your reviews. So this we love all those 5-star reviews we have been receiving in the recent months. So you can just scan the QR code for that. That's it. That brings us to the conclusion. I want to thank you all again for attending, and looking forward to be speaking with you all in the near future.